All right, so here's the DAO call for February 22nd, 2023. And I guess Rochelle said I can talk about my proposal, the number 130, the special mining fund. So basically, I have talked with Raven, who's I guess the admin there in the Telegram for Defibox, and I was just looking into how we would, because occasionally you can see they do promotions where you have one token and their box token being rewards for providing liquidity to one of their pools. And so we can set it up to have EFX and box rewards for 3 months as a promotion. And it also can include like if we have like materials, explaining Effect Network, Effect DAO, what it does, how it works, what's our goal. They can also send it to their user base to just spread awareness of what the project does. And so that's something I kind of been asking for in the Discord. Hopefully you can help as well, Rochelle. I know Gabby has a lot of content she created over the months on Twitter, and I was wondering if we can have it all curated into, like, I think she called it a pitch deck, and I think that's kind of what I think would help. That can kind of just summarize Effect Network, Effect DAO, why is it useful, and what does it do, what you can get out of it, and so that way I can just send it to the Defibox people for them to kind of send, and also like if it's possible, it would be great if we could have this in like translated into Chinese as well, because I know for Defibox a substantial user base are Chinese speakers, so I think it could help with outreach. And all these
that is a good idea.
And all these documents, I think we could just reuse, with any other collaborations in the future as well. I mean, so once we just have like a good base set of documents, we can just keep sharing them.
Yeah, I like that. And did I miss what form of the promo stuff do they need from us? Like, they want it as a PDF or slides?
I think I assume they're gonna be sharing it like as pictures, like on Twitter or their Telegram. So I was thinking like like basically a PDF made of images.
Okay. Yeah. So it needs to be visual and have the info. Would
a slide deck not be easier to separate the images out of?
Yeah, if we just make it with a pitch deck, like in Google Slides, you can save each slide as a PNG then afterwards. So you could give them all those. Yeah, because we could also just share them. Here's our Google slide deck, or here it is in image form, and then and I like your idea having it translated in Chinese too, because that is perfect. We can totally do that on the platform too, in house. Yeah,
that'll be great, because I think there's at least with Defibox, we've always had the Effect always had like a relationship, because we have the EFX NFX pool. So I think it's good to kind of outreach to the user base there, so they know what we do and why we're there. And I know Richard was also asking for something like this as well on his end. Like I think there was I forgot the name of them, but they did an interview with I also forgot his name. From AGI X, the Singularity Net, the CEO. They did an interview with him at this investment firm, and I think Richard.
Ben guy? Ben? Was it Ben?
Yeah, Ben. Yeah, Ben's his name. And so Richard was looking for like a good way to summarize what Effect Network does. So I think slides for that is like, I think basically these slides, I think we could use it for a lot of things once we have like a good good base for it.
We partnered with them a very, very long time ago. And I used to talk with someone from their team. Hold on. It was, let me find my chat with him. Oh my God, Telegram is insane.
So you're saying you already have a contact with them?
Yeah. And I talked with him quite a bit. I'll find the name here. In a second. But yeah, I'm really liking this with the Defibox. So we have to allocate 230,000 EFX.
Yeah, the way I see it, yes, 30,000 of that will be used for an airdrop, and then the other 200,000 will be distributed as rewards over 3 months. And the way I also requested David, I think he just said that it shouldn't be too hard, because I think this could be a good case for an ATP, because they have a specific EOS account for this, and if we can have the DAO send it there, I think it will be a good feature to have for the DAO to be able to send EFX to a target EOS account.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I also really like this idea. I think we should do it.
Like, even thinking of it now, like, we could pay off that loan that because I know we still owe the foundation like how much we agreed upon, but the proposals for requesting the funds haven't been asked, so we can just do it outright ourselves if we can just point EFX to a target destination.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we should do that the next cycle for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a really great idea of trying to engage another community and getting more people aware of Effect. Yeah, I'm totally for it.
Well, another EOS community is a perfect place to get started on that type of outreach.
Yeah, if you want as well to add a language, you said you can do this in-house, Rochelle, so I don't know if you want to add Turkish as well, because I know EOS seems to have a pretty high population of Turkish speakers as well.
Yeah, it is, but damn, getting the translation for Turkish, it's really hard.
Yeah, if it's too much, just like if it's possible, but because yeah, if we could have this like this base pitch deck set of slides that, because there's a lot of outdated information, you know, and it can be a struggle to explain everything, and just having like a complete set of like how Effect Network as it is right now works and how you can benefit, I think would help.
My contact with SingularityNet, it was Tim Richmond, but I don't think he's with Singularity anymore.
Maybe we can still talk to him and have him connect to who replaced him if he found another.
Yeah, and I don't even know if he's now with this company too. I'll figure it out. And there's another one, because I'm looking on the thing. This was the Telegram chat started back in July of 2021. And it was this person with Singularity, Ivy Benali. She works there. Oh, she still works there. Okay. I can get back a hold of her. And yeah, but I'm gonna do it in a different chat because this one's not good. Okay. The owner of this chat isn't around anymore, so I won't chat in this thread, but I'll contact this lady too. Let's see. But this, we would be spending the entire 230,000 EFX, right?
Well, technically, not really, because it would be distributed to all the liquidity pool providers, and like 40% of that is the foundation. So I don't know, maybe it could be recycled. But yes, like basically, yeah, like all 230,000 would be sent to Defibox to distribute.
I like this idea.
There was also, I was talking with Raven. She also suggested we could potentially do during the promotion, I think, something called like I just termed it like a mutual AMA, where some like representative from Defibox can answer any questions about Defibox in our community, and then someone who wants to represent the DAO can answer any questions in their community.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a Twitter space conversation or something like that.
Well, maybe I didn't like. I decided like we should wait until like I want to see how the rest of the DAO votes on this idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking if everything's all going smoothly, we can set something up like that in the middle of the promotion. So it'll probably be a couple months from now.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm definitely going to vote yes for this. So as it passes, I will definitely be all in helping with the materials and that stuff. So I think it's good for us. It's good for the network.
Shouldn't we try to do this within the next couple of weeks and try to get as much attention as possible for Effect, considering the Pomelo season just opened?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how feasible it'll be to actually get all of the promotional material, but I think doing the payment should be relatively easy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm not sure, but I would like to try to catch that deadline.
So the promotional material, you're just thinking of taking the tweets that have been posted and compiling them?
That could be, that was in reference to like the images we already made, that's already made, right? Because there's a good amount of like images. But I mean, I don't mind if new content is made too, you know? I mean.
Yeah. If I blocked out a good uninterrupted 3 hours, I could get this done.
That would be great if you can.
So, yeah. Because I can hit up Gabby if I need some visual stuff changed, since she's the one that made the original ones. I think we've got a Figma. Yeah, I can get in her Figma and pull around and make this stuff. I mean, I'm up for making it, especially if we get all the exposure on Defibox. It's like what David said, you know, the Pomelo thing's going, and if they see us, if they already recognize us from like Defibox, you know, as the Pomelo season's going, and they're looking at, okay, they're around a lot, they're not like new and unknown. I think it just helped for more recognition.
Yeah, that's my general goal with the EOS outreach, and that's also why I've been talking with .gems, which is related to your proposal, Bree, where you're thinking of a competition. I don't know how you want like to be like in-house competition, or you want like
I have no idea. I just want to see if they want to take it to a competition, and then a few of us can hash out details. And I'm hoping Alan might be one of those who might help hash out details, because really it's his thought to turn it into a competition. I just want to see some more engaging, fun community stuff. That's all my goal is with it.
If we turn it into like an event and then advertise it in the EOS community too, and be like, hey, we're having a competition with this and that, and invite people into our server and into our event to participate, I think that's also a way to bring in outsiders too.
possible, but I think one of the other things to ask is if we're turning it into competition, there needs to be some kind of prize.
Yeah.
And what level of prize do we wish to issue out? And if we go out of our own community, then I think the prize needs to be a little more substantial.
I think, yeah, you should also talk with Martin, because maybe he knows, like, because I imagine he's connected with a bunch of artistically capable people, so you can inquire how much they
Yeah, so
could be
at
interested.
this point, because this is not something where there's this big rush to get done, right? It's just something I wanted to see. Some colorful emojis that reflect our brand, right? Or
Yeah.
stickers that reflect us. And maybe that might lead to a character that could be used in certain cases, promotional or memes or things like that, right? And we've talked about that before. And the biggest setback before was trying to balance a business appeal to a meme type community appeal, and we couldn't find that middle ground. So maybe through emojis and these stickers, there could be either a middle ground found or a defined realization that we have two streams of appeals we want to go to: a more business one, which is like this promotion deck you're after, or a more engage the fun side of the community. And rarely the two would meet, except in spaces like Discord or yeah, I don't know. I know it's not a straight simple, but I wanted something fun. And for me, it was just, you want it, do it, get it done. But Alan suggested a competition, and he's right. So if not a competition, at least open it up to others. So it's not just me. I am not the best designer out there. I've got a few little things that I can do quite happily, and then beyond that, it's like, nah, somebody else should do it, right? But there are definitely people with the skills that could come up with something brilliant. So a competition, creates more open space for that to happen. Yeah, we can talk to Martin more, but right now I just want to see what the community feels.
I'd say
just want
an
something
EFX
simple,
as a
straight up.
prize, like
Sorry?
a bag of EFX as a surprise, as a prize, and then also make it enough to where we can point out that it's also enough with a little bit extra that if you wanted to join our DAO, you could. Because it's staking 500 EFX. So a minimum, the prize would be 500 EFX. And then a role in Discord that lets them make more, that gets recognized that they were the designer, something like that.
Could be.
So a bag of EFX, the ability to join the DAO for free, and then a shiny new role.
Well, if we were going to encourage it for DAO, I'd like to see them get enough EFX to purchase an equal amount of NFX, or we provide entrance into the DAO with the 500 EFX and 500 equivalency EFX of NFX.
Yeah.
So they're not just there, but they're there with a voice.
Or do a prize of whatever EFX and a DAO entry of 500 EFX plus 1 NFX. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they could get in and vote, even though it wouldn't be that much weight. And then they also have a prize pool of that. And then a shiny role in recognition in Discord.
Yeah, something like that. I haven't really thought that part through. Just merely, should we do a competition, or should we just get it done quickly with whatever I come up with, basically? Yeah. That's right at this point. That's all I want to know.
Well, I mean, we can do both. I mean, it's. I think you can have. I mean, we have plenty of spots available, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea. If you wanna do some more community engagement, I think you should totally go for it. And I think it'll be fun, and the people that enjoy that kind of thing will also enjoy it. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm one of those that like the idea of having a little character that we could play around with.
Yeah, that's reason number 88. Bree wants a mascot. You've been wanting a mascot for years. This is how Bree gets her mascot.
Yes. This is my way of getting our mascot. And I realized that mascots don't have to be on the business pitch decks. These are mascots that, as community members, we can start throwing around Twitter. We can start just making memes with. And if we make a character that's good for an emoji, it doesn't take much to shift that a little bit into being a mascot.
No, absolutely. I don't think you should wait for any kind of permission, and I think you should just go for it and let throw it out there and let it grow organically.
Well, right now there's I'm just going to leave the proposal as is for sentiment. Do you want it or not? And if we want it, until we're approving funds for a prize, we don't really need another proposal. Until that point, the rest of it can be hashed out in Discord and in the .gems channel, right, that we've already got going on this topic. And once we sort of get fixed on a prize, then I think that should be run through a proposal for approving the prize. But you're right, Rochelle. I totally want a mascot. And those mascots can be turned into NFTs. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff we can do with the mascot. And the mascot doesn't need to have anything to do with the professional pitch decks.
Sounds good. Okay, so to keep moving along and to keep on track with here, we have a really special proposal that David posted. Number 129, Pomelo Grant for Effect DAO. So, David, take it away.
So indeed, as DJ alluded to, or inspired me to do, was to also apply for a Pomelo grant and to create a better integration with HuggingFace. And I think there's a lot of potential there. So but I want to do it via the DAO. We want to create a path where we can apply for grant applications via for the ENF eventually. And one of the to be eligible for the ENF grant for like the higher tiers was to have a successful Pomelo grant submission. And one of the limitations of the ENF grant is that you haven't done a token sale in the past. So I was hoping that the DAO can be then the recipient and the custodian of then the grant from Pomelo. And with that, we can then also apply for other grants. But so for now, I'm gonna apply for a grant on Pomelo for about $10,000 to develop a DApp with HuggingFace, where we'll be augmenting datasets for HuggingFace and creating a generic interface for other community members of HuggingFace to be able to do that for themselves as well. And hopefully we'll be able to generate a lot of tasks as well then for workers. And we'll be able to create a very successful use case. But yeah, so the idea is that the DAO will then be the one that will be receiving the grant and then paying out to those who help create and develop dApps for it.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I like your things to keep in mind. Number one, even if you don't get the grant, or even if we don't get the grant, it's establishing the DAO as an entity. It's responsible. I like that.
Yeah, that's the idea, that the DAO can manage funds and is able to create budgets to help then be the custodian of Effect Network, and making sure that development keeps happening and things are being maintained and new features are being developed. Right now, we only have a fund of EFX, but if we start using EFX and selling that EFX, that'll also have a negative impact on the price. So hopefully we'll be able to have successful grant applications with other kinds of funding.
Yeah, so this would basically, the funds are granted in EOS, right?
Yeah.
So we would be holding on to some EOS, and then as a DAO, we could buy EFX with it and distribute to the developers who are building this, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it'd be better if we just keep the EOS, because I mean we can just use EFX from the treasury. Well, and it's also we don't want to. I'm not sure how they would think about that. I think it's best if we reserve any EOS through those donations, in my opinion, to be paid as labor costs.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think what David wants to do with Effect DAO is kind of like unprecedented for Pomelo. I don't think it's ever happened. It has always been individuals or like teams, but never just like a DAO. So I'm not. I think it will definitely spark interest, but I'm not. I don't know how it will
Might be a bit
go.
leery.
I think it will be accepted well, because I mean, if you look, they're all very familiar over at Pomelo with like Eden, you know?
Yeah.
And since our
Well, but
DAO,
with Eden, the thing is with Eden, they had they had a rule, like first there's like an explicit rule of Pomelo. You can't donate to your own grant, right?
Yeah.
And so they crack down on Eden because you have delegates who can be elected pledging that they're gonna use those funds to vote for their own project, right? And it's Eden's funds, but because they're the custodian, they're not like the consensus is that they're not allowed to donate. And also team members also are not allowed to donate. So by extrapolation, like I think we should probably ask to get this clarified. But if it's the DAO applying, is the DAO itself in its entirely prohibited from donating? I mean, it's a question that hasn't been asked yet, but I think it will be. But I think it's worth trying anyway.
That is a good question. Because maybe we could have it like, listen, can just our high guard members of the DAO be excluded from donating, you know?
Yeah, we'll have to
I think it makes sense that any member of the DAO wouldn't be able to donate then this
but it'll be hard
project.
to like enforce. I mean, like I guess they could ban the most active members, and I mean, I can probably should not donate either, but I don't know if we can stop any member.
I agree. I don't think you can stop any member. If it's going to be the full DAO, then this might not work. But if it's just a high guard, that actually makes sense, because the high guard is the one with the approval authority.
But yeah, David, I think you should talk with the guys at Pomelo to see what they think.
Yeah, that is a good idea.
Because it's just unprecedented, in my opinion, to have like a DAO, like, because we actually as a DAO can literally have as a DAO, like, once it's transferred to the DAO treasury, we can have ATPs to send to people now, right? I assume you can implement it so we can send the EOS in the treasury, right?
Yeah.
So we have I think in general the capabilities as a DAO that Effect DAO has is much more than any other DAO, and it's because of that we have the high guard, right? Because we don't even know what type of ATPs people can bring up, but it also gives us more capabilities. But anyway, yeah, like my main point is do engage with the Pomelo people to see like what the rules will be, because we want to follow the rules, whatever they are, and because it's it's a situation that I think hasn't really happened before. It's good to have their input, before we just like jump in doing it.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay.
Make sure it's good from the get go. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I'll have to clarify
I agree.
with
That's
that.
a good point. I haven't thought about that. I just kind of assumed that any entity such as a DAO would be able to participate, and I didn't think about
well, they could
if this
participate,
was part
just
of
the
the rules.
funding.
But I'll look at the terms and conditions to make sure and talk to them.
I mean, even if the DAO participates, if you want to meet your funding goal, it requires the rest of the community, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we want to make sure we don't get like disqualified for something, because I mean they have their rules, and it's best to make sure we always are following them.
Yeah. When we approach them and ask for clarification, we should also have at the ready, like, an explanation with the high guard and the ATP and where this would go, by the treasury, and only who would be able to distribute those funds and show that it's just this small group of people and not the greater DAO. So can we do it with the greater DAO being able to contribute, but just not these people who would be in charge of the funds? I think that's the best way to approach them.
Well, for now, we
Clarification.
should ask if it works as a DAO completely, because I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Like, maybe it extends too far. I have no idea what they will think. And also, we gotta make sure we like. I'm also gonna be applying for a grant for my NFT Content Index and search, but I also will be supporting all the grants in my collection, because there are good ones there that I think are worth supporting, and I want to make sure we, as a DAO, encourage everyone to participate completely in Pomelo, and because there's a lot of projects that there are many cases where things that benefit EOS benefit Effect Network, and vice versa as well, and that's, I think, what we want to establish.
Agreed. I do think that for the short term, it would make more sense for me to apply as an individual, but I think for the long term, it makes more sense to try to apply as a DAO, and hopefully we can set a precedent for the future as well.
Yeah. If our DAO is so different from, like, if the High Guard and the ATPs make our DAO really different from even Eden, then they need to understand that it's not the typical DAO that they're familiar with, and how does our DAO fit into their rules. Long term, yeah, it would be better.
But from what I've understood is that Eden was kind of messing around with the rules of how to get more funding.
Well, I don't think they're necessarily messing around. It's more like people kind of it's just inherent to how Eden works, right? Because you have these 4 people that have within their small little group campaign why they should go up a higher level, right? And some of them say they're running a very good project and they believe it should have support, and they convince the rest to vote for them, and they want to use the Eden funds they get to support that project. And so, excuse me, sorry. So they want to use those funds, but it's like it's debate. It was like these things are debates in the Pomelo community, and I think basically it ended up being that, like, not that there weren't dissent. It's just even people cannot donate to their own grants. And then it added up, so team members also cannot donate. So that's like, I'm just like viewing the trend here, right? Basically, the general trend, it seems, is like people who are associated with this project on Pomelo shouldn't be able to use the quadratic funding system. And I think that's reasonable. So, but it's just like, will it apply to a whole DAO if it's the DAO being represented? I don't know. That's something, it's just, we'd have to ask the Pomelo community. I mean, I could post it right now. Or maybe just in the week after we get some votes, because it's probably better to make sure like everyone's voting yes. But yeah, I think as long as we engage, it's fine. You just got to make sure we don't surprise them.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think maybe that might also be a good to keep in mind, that potentially people from our DAO won't be able to participate. And depending on then how that goes, we can weigh off what's the better strategy then. But indeed, like, I'll join their Discord as well and talk to them and figure out what's better and how they think about like what we're trying to do.
Yeah, and join their Telegram as well. I think there's more activity in their Telegram. But yeah, you can post it because their Discord is just on the EOS Discord. It's like they have a special channel.
But we can also potentially give them a list of our Discord members or our DAO members and inform them that, hey, we want to do this as a DAO, but we're aware of your rules, and here is a list of all of the members of our DAO, and we want to make sure that we do this by the book, and you can make sure that any people that do contribute then to the Pomelo grant that are on this list shouldn't be able to.
Well, first, just have clarification of how they see a DAO participating as collectively, and if I think if they think that it should be restricted, we can maybe get a compromise where only the top, DAO. I mean, it's not like we have that many DAO members participating, to be honest. Like in the last proposal, there was like 20 something. So I don't know. Whatever happens, we can make sure that we make the rules explicit so everyone on the DAO is aware of it. It's just the only thing is we gotta figure out like how it applies. But I think it's a good for the general goal of having the DAO as a representative. I think because I think it's a good idea to have the DAO because the DAO was created independently of the Effect Networks Foundation. Even the original white paper only references governance in a very abstract, like just that it would exist, right? The DAO itself was created by EFX members staking, or by Effect Network members staking for NFX. So I think even if it's a small amount of people, the creation of Effect DAO, in my opinion, was decentralized. And we used to have a lot more members, and it's just the bear cycle kind of discouraged people to leave. But I think the origins of Effect DAO is decentralized and independent
Exactly.
of Effect Network. So
doing this, sorry, this is for the DAO to create a DApp that provides things for the greater good. And this DApp, it would help so many of these people with their data sets on HuggingFace, for one. It uses the blockchain, it uses the network, and then this DApp would also make tasks for workers on the network. And the DAO would own this DApp. It would be their DApp.
Well, the
So,
DApp would be open source, right?
Yeah, it'd be open source, but it would be the DAO.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my answer for this proposal is going to be yes, and I think as long as we talk about it and are open about it with the EOS community, I don't think there will be any negative views. We just want to make sure we engage with the community and make sure how the rules are written on Pomelo, we're not skirting anything. And I don't think we will be. But the only issue is just more like how much of the DAO is considered, the team if it's the DAO. So I think I said like 3 times now. But yeah, that's the only thing I could be a little bit worried about. But the rest I think is solid. Because like along with the grant I want to publish, the NFT search index, I feel like these types of dApps are sort of lacking on Pomelo, like dataset oriented, like machine learning, AI, like related applications. I don't think there's, or so far I haven't really seen any. So I think we can fill a niche that can help EOS like be more competitive, because I think the future is going to be like which blockchains can help AI the most, and I think building these data sets, having like it's kind of like something with Pulsar. Like I don't know if you remember, I linked Pulsar a while ago, and they have their own NFT search engine, but I think it's still closed beta. And I think just having like with my grant, like I think just having a tool that can build an index and let you like search NFTs basically of any type using any model from HuggingFace, that's like I think a better way to have like content be accessible. And so I think like the general field we're going for is to satisfy a niche that hasn't been satisfied in EOS, and I think that's totally possible right now.
Absolutely. I do think you've made an excellent point, and that machine learning is here to stay. Like it's a growing industry. There's a lot of money being poured into it, and on the other hand, you do have EOS, which is a pretty great ecosystem. There is really solid technology here, but it's missing a killer app that will attract users. And I think this might be a good bridge in between then EOS having a blockchain and being able to augment data for machine learning models. I think this could be very fruitful. So indeed, but also I also hope that with this, we'll be able to access ENF grants as well, because with the ENF, they are very explicit about their rules. They're very strict about who can apply for a grant and who can't, and hopefully this will help us get a bit closer or be eligible for an ENF grant in the future.
Yeah, and one of the requirements is to have received a grant on Pomelo as well. So yeah, we'll address these points with the Pomelo people and get going on that. But in the meantime, I still want people to vote with their heart on this proposal, yes or no. Even though some of these things we have to clear up just to make sure we're eligible. We really need the DAO to decide we're doing this or not. So
I think even if the DAO is prohibited from donating, we should still do it as the DAO, because I think long term that will help us the most.
Exactly.
And even if we're not able to participate with this grant, I'll still support other grants, because I think, like as I said before, I think as a DAO we are focused on something that's niche, but also, as David said, getting bigger and bigger. And I think we can serve a good purpose for EOS. So I think we can make a good case for it.
Absolutely. I'm also excited to see your NFT index search engine. I'm very curious to see what it's going to look like and how it's going to function.
Yeah, I think I want it to be kind of very straightforward, something that I've just been mulling on for like 4 months now. But yeah, like originally do you remember I already built a good chunk of it for Numbers Protocol, but I didn't know how to do the image recognition part. But now like HuggingFace has made it so easy. Like you just pull a model and write a Python script and there you go. And so like my main goal is not only can you use this NFT search, like search requires an index, and so if you can build an index, you can have search. And so with the indexer, if you can just pull off the right model, whether like for example, if you have like NFTs of songs, right? If you can use the model to figure out what the genre the song is, or like what type of vibes it has, like, and then generate index for that, you can use this same tool to generate index for music. So, and I'm sure there's probably gonna like I haven't done a deep dive, but I'm sure there's models for like video content as well. And so, like, I think basically with Hugging Face models, you can churn anything. You can create a searchable index of any content. And like my opinion of NFTs is they're fungible tokens, but if they have content, it's usually a pointer, to a link to some content elsewhere, right? And so it's not indexed in any search. And like that's my main point in the grant. Like if you go to Atomic Hub where you can buy EOS NFTs, the content of the image is nowhere in related to the search results. If you search for a hat, you have to have it like explicitly in the name of the NFT or the collection. It's not going to look at the image and say and like return results where there's a hat, right? So like I think if you can just do recognition to find all the hats and people can find NFTs with hats. I mean that's just an example, but like it can be done with anything. And so all those 2 million, like then finally some can be more discovered. Like otherwise it's all just pure name recognition at this point, right? Like with NFT collections, the most successful ones are the ones that just have name recognition. But like, what if people just want art, that appeals to them, that has like a specific thing they're looking for? For them to be able to find it, I think is key.
Yeah, potentially, a service
I
like Atomic
totally
Hub
get
or
that.
OpenSea will also be interested in using such a service.
I'm always looking for art. It's really hard to find something specific. Unless you know the artist's name. Anyway, I have to switch off in 10 minutes or less, actually less, 6 minutes. So I don't think I have anything else particularly I need to talk about right now.
No, I think we covered the agenda and the current proposals and this stuff. I wrote down the materials for the Defibox stuff here. I'm gonna put it in my schedule to block out a thing of time this week. I'm probably I can pop it in Friday. So pop it in Friday, get that done, and then share it and see what you guys think. That's not too late a time, is it?
No, that would be awesome. That would
plenty of time, I think. I gave them the estimate of 1 month from now, so we have time for voting on the sentiment and then voting on the ATP. So
okay.
I guess David's proposal is still gonna take 2 weeks for the cycle, so I wouldn't post the grant until those 2 weeks are up, right? So
okay.
So I think we have some time.
Yeah, good point. But isn't it better to post it sooner rather than later?
Well, I guess you can post it, but just post it when it's sure that it's gonna pass no matter what.
Yeah. I'll still work on it though Friday. That way, so I'm pretty sure this is gonna pass.
So the pitch deck that you'd be working on, that would work for
anything. So it's
taking
not
to
like it'd be a waste.
Yeah, so taking it to
Yeah.
a university who is focusing on machine learning or something, you know.
Yeah, so I got this scheduled in for Friday. So I'll do that and then I'll share it and you guys can review and help me, you know, give some feedback and stuff in case I missed certain points or whatever. So I'll put that on here.
Yeah, we can refine it.
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna keep plugging away at my little drawing for the next few weeks. Competition or no, they're kind of fun when I'm in the mood to do them.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the mascot.
I think we're a long way off the mascot yet. Emoticons, and then stickers, and then mascot. Or mascot, then stickers? I'm not sure.
Well, great meeting, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay.
And it's on time. We're almost at the hour, so cool.
Yeah, we covered everything, so.
Awesome job then.
Yep. We'll keep up to date with everything. And I guess till next time, we'll have another DAO call.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Have a good 2 weeks,
Good
and
fun, everybody.
we'll read you in between. Read your comments in between. Engage in between. Okay. Yep. I'm off.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Ciao.